Hello, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and welcome in, everybody. So, we are here for another great weekend of racing for Flat Out Racing North America, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we had some technical difficulties trying to go live just a few minutes ago. Um, so, my apologies to start off with. We're live here now. Hopefully it holds up. I don't know what the problem was, but qualifying is going to be over here shortly, so I'm not going to bother really jumping over to it here as I just kind of got everything back up and running. So again, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We are here presenting again for Flat Out Racing North America. It's our amateur divisions live. This is happening in real time, ladies and gentlemen. And on the screen in front of you, you can see we are at Brands Hatch. And of course, these guys did start qualifying about 7 minutes ago. Yeah. I apologize. Audio's real low. All right. Hopefully that's better. Appreciate the tip here. Up in front of our screens here, I don't want to take too much time bringing this in. I want to make sure we catch the race when it starts. So at the top of our list, this is as the points stand coming into round 6 here, ladies and gentlemen. We do have Apex Racing's Heathen leading the charge there. RWB's PD is in second, or K Record here in third. We have Mr. Smurf in fourth. We've got Perea in fifth. Merchant 6th, Koke in 7th, Chip Reese in 8th, Andres in 9th, Venspeed in 10th, Ben Blaker in 11th after his debut, Salinari in 12th after his debut, Stangman in 9th, we have Corndog in 8th, and none of our subs are in the race here today. So sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, 100% family friendly broadcast, folks, so your kids are most certainly welcome to come in and enjoy the race as well, if of course that is your desire as parents, and powered by HyperYard graphics here. So these two beautiful little images that are just about to disappear are provided by our media guru Ioni here at Flat Out Racing, and everything else we see on the stream is provided by Hyperi graphics. So Chris Reeves up, audio is low, let's go Heathen. Hello GT45 and Chris, what's up John, how's everybody doing? Chris coming in with that thumbs up, Jake with the share, and John coming in with the thumbs up as well. So I do apologize again for the stream crashing earlier. The guys are just finishing up qualifying here. This will be their last time around for anybody that hasn't passed the line here. And it's an interesting qualifying, I'm going to say that much. We're not going to bother taking you over to the screen yet. We're going to wait till we get set up on the starting grid. But we are definitely tight up on the grid here for the most part. So should be interesting here. Hey, Hearts, Red Bull. Again, we did have a little bit of a technical issue. Pre-race qualifying on the stream, that's why we didn't get to see qualifying here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I do apologize. Things always seem to happen at the worst time here at GT45 Gaming as far as our equipment goes, but we're back up and running, so got to get our head in the game here, chat, because we're in for a good race here. So qualifying is officially over. It is going to be RWB PD on pole position. It's going to be Rick James in second place. We have Merch in third. We've got Apex Racing's Heathen in fourth. We've got B Blaker in fifth, Mr. Smurf in sixth, Corndog in seventh, Chip Reese in eighth, K Record in ninth, and Justin Salinari in 10th place. So 10 drivers on the grid here today, and I do think we have a couple more that have qualified or are qualifying that'll probably end up here in this series potentially as well. So the grid continues to grow as the season continues to grow, which is fantastic. We got Vic coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, everybody. Just going to do a quick little check on everything, make sure everything's working finally. Jake coming in with the heart. Chris and Jake coming in with the share. Mark also coming in with that heart on the stream. Much love, everybody. Really do appreciate everybody. Welcome over on the YouTube channels as well, folks. Sorry we don't have any links or special things pinned in there for everybody tonight. Again, just due to the situation at hand tonight. Let's go Rick James 101. Hey, look at that. We got fans coming across all the platforms here today. So welcome in to our returning viewers to start start with, of course, as you guys are always coming in and showing all the love, and welcome to our new viewers as well. This should be interesting. So we're just waiting for them to kick it off, and then we'll flip over the screen for everybody, ladies and gentlemen. So the host of the lobby is just checking in on the drivers here right now, or we're just waiting for 10 readies. And when we have 10 readies, we're going to get this thing kicked off. Let's go get it, boys. Foxes, happy to have you back. Kick them tires, light them fires, the sweaty palms. Cheers, cheers. Let's go, Foxes. Foxes, says Corey. Oh boy, it's getting heaty up here. We've got a lot of Flying Fox fans, so just bear with, chat. I promise we're going to get some video and audio here shortly. We're just waiting until we can get in. Well, we've got 5 readies, and we're going to be starting here shortly, so just give me uno momento. We're going to go here. We're going to go Legacies. Alright. Rock and roll, chat. It's race time. Kick them tires, light them fires. It's time to go racing. And we are starting off here with RWB PD in the pole position. He's get out of that chase cam here, and here we go. Race is off. Looks like everybody gets out clean. A couple of the guys in the back, they're lagging. Maybe a false start from those drivers, but RWPD quickly losing position here to Merch. So Merch making a quick aggressive move, but he's going to go wide into the Toolies there, and he is going to be picking some sand out of the grill of that race car. Unfortunate there for Merch. Rick James is going to take the lead. Apex Racing's Heathen is going to be in second. We have Blaker here now battling side by side with RWBPD, ladies and gentlemen, and RWBPD is going to have the tough line around this corner here. Ben Blaker's going to slot up into P3. RWBPD, our pole sitter, going to drop very quickly down into 4th place here. So that was a quick series of drop places here for our leader. Ooh, almost overshooting Certzi's here. Tucked right back in behind Ben Blaker. So let's look behind. His Corn Dog is now going side by side with Mr. Smurf. Corn Dog does have the drag race won so far, but Mr. Smurf now edging him out. Let's move back to that battle here, folks, as Merch is going to have the inside line, or Smurf, sorry. But Corn Dog went really deep into that corner and got a good exit out of there. So Corn Dog just staying ahead of Mr. Smurf here as we're coming into, I can't remember the corners' names here at this part. I think they're Dunlops, but I could totally be wrong. And we're going to call this Dead Man's Corner because this corner eats a lot of race cars. We have Ricard here in in 7th place. Chip Reese here in 8th, right in behind. We have Justin Salinari here in 9th and Merch in 10th. So Merch made a bold move at the beginning of the race there on lap 1, turn 1. And just didn't quite get it done. Ended up building some sandcastles, and he decided to come back out and play with the big boys on the racetrack here. So he's got a little bit of ground to make up. So let's come out of here. Let's let our TV crews do their job as normal. One more time with all the blocking stuff in front of your screen. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's the game's fault. There's nothing I can do about that currently, but here we are. THG needs some AM drivers. Hey, there we go. THG in the house. Corey Turner coming in with that thumbs up as well. So here we go. Rick James in the lead, and this is his debut race, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, this week. Oh, and we got Apex Racing's Heathen sitting there mowing the lawn here for the track officials at Branch Hatch. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be a vicious race, ladies and gentlemen. This racetrack holds no remorse. You don't keep it on the racetrack, it makes you pay. We're starting to see that very early on already in this race here. All you got to do is touch that grass, and you're going to lose time one way or another. But right now it is Rick James in first, RWBPD in second, B. Blaker here in 3rd place. He had a great race in his debut last week. Corn Dog as well having a good race in 4th place, tucked right up underneath Ben Blaker's rear spoiler there. Apex Racing's Heathen, after that mistake, settling back into P5 here. We have Mr. Smurf in 6th and behind Apex Racing's Heathen here as well, so he is caught back up to the pack. We got Chip Reese here in 7th place, and he's in a very American-looking livery there by the looks of it. We'll have to get a closer look later on in the broadcast here. We have K Record here in 8th place, so I'm not sure what happened to him, but losing a couple spots. Justin Salinari and Merch now chasing in 9th and 10th here, and they're not too far off the pack. So right now, James is the big winner out of everything that's happened here. So very, very early on in the race today, ladies and gentlemen, he has gotten a 5-second gap already in this race. Rick James is 70 years old. Poor Merch. Let's go Heathen, says Clarissa, and Mark is correct. James, I believe, is our oldest competitor here this season at Flat Out Racing, now edging out Stangman, who we've seen just last week. This gentleman is 70 years old, so massive props to this gentleman early on in the race here. So He's hanging on. The question is can he hold out for 35 laps around Brands Hatch here without having to run to the bathroom? Haha, I kid. All right. Ooh, and RWB Petey getting it wrong there. Out of search seats. He's eating some grass, or he manages to keep the car underneath him. That's a fantastic job by RWB Petey. But already we're seeing these amateurs struggling with this very difficult track at Brands Hatch. Now, this track is located in the United Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to do our intro while the race is going on tonight because of the issue I had earlier trying to go live. You can see here, ladies and gentlemen, it's a tight, narrow racetrack. There's not a lot of real ample passing opportunities here. You have to be very precise and very efficient with your making of passes on Brands Hatch. The final corner coming into the final straightaway for the start-finish line is a pretty decent spot. And, of course, going into Paddock Hill Bend can be a good passing area as well. The Druids, not so much that left-hander unless you're side-by-side going in there. But other than that, you don't really want to try and make a lunge going into Druids. And then from there, you have Cersei's. Again, potential passing opportunity there if a driver makes a little bit of a mistake and leaves the door open, but again, it's risky some of these spots on Brands Hatch, and you can see there's no curbs to save them here. There's no little asphalt runoff here. It is pure grass and sand all the way around this racetrack as we see Merch coming around Paddock Hill Bend here right now, and we're going to be coming around Druids here, this absolute crazy breaking hairpin right after that high-speed turn 1, and then it's just a whole lot of fun here. I'm not sure what this corner is called here. I can't quite remember it off the top of my head, and then these guys come into Cersei's here, and this is an interesting corner as well. When you get it right, it feels so good, but when you get it wrong, you come out slow or you pay the price for it. And Merch having a pretty good run through there, it looked like. So Justin Salinari just coming through there as well in 7th, record here in 8th, Mr. Smurf in 9th, Chip Reese in 10th. So James very early on in the lead here with 6.5 seconds now, ladies and gentlemen. He is flying. Clarissa coming in with that thumbs up as well on Facebook. Much love. Hope everybody's doing fantastic today. I'm just going to take another quick pop in over here. LOL, he's wearing his Depends, sends Gary. Let's go, Rick, and look all. Yes, some Rick fans up in the house. Absolutely loving that, ladies and gentlemen. John, what is up, says Clarissa. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, back to the race at hand, ladies and gentlemen. So far, it's been an interesting one, and Rick James making a mistake, going all the way back down into 6th place here now. So, poor gentleman here making a mistake there, and that's going to drop him down the field. So, Blaker now moves up into the lead of the race. That is our third race leader of the night here already on lap 5, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, and he almost gets it wrong coming down Paddock Hill Bend. Then that's going to leave the door open for Petey, but he decides to tuck back in through the Druids here as these guys come in towards Cersei's. I can't remember the name of this corner. We're going to call it the turn 3. How about that? Haha, I'm a funny guy today. All right, so turn 3 here is RWP. Oh, and behind his corn dog, and he gets it wrong coming out of the exit. That is a dangerous curb, that curb. He got onto the throttle at the wrong time. You can see the end result. They're spinning that car around. Does a great job keeping it out of the wall, and he's going to drop down 2 positions. Apex Racing's he's now going to move up into 3rd place. And oh boy, it is going to be a race of attrition here today, ladies and gentlemen. Whichever of these drivers keeps the car right and the tightest, I think, is going to win this race here today. Merch is in 4th place. Now, he went to the back of the pack after a super bold move after at the start of the race going into turn 1. He ended up going into the sand, and now he's back up into P4. James is up into 5th here. Corn Dog down to 6th. Record is 7th here. And he's just like, what is going on up front here? Mr. Smurf down to 8th place, having a little bit of an issue somewhere. Justin Salinari down to 9th, and Chip now in 10th here. So it's been an interesting race. RWBPD is still looking for a way around Blaker here. Is he's not making it easy here as Blaker's going around the racetrack here on lap 5. So what are we going to see for strategies here today, ladies and gentlemen? I honestly don't have the first clue. With it being 35 laps on the settings, I think maybe it's potential that we could see one-stop strategies come out of our AM division here today. It would definitely need to be a 20 and 15 lap split in order for the one-stop to work, I think. As far as a 2-stop strategy goes, we're probably going to see as far as you can go on mediums, and then splitting those 2 soft tire runs in half at that point. I don't actually have any real good strategy information for you guys this week because I actually haven't had any time this week to physically work out the math and do the testing and see what the results are for the strategies here for these divisions this week. I've just been crazy busy with the Christmas season coming up with work, and streaming has picked up a little extra here all of a sudden. So needless to say, your boy Ghost is not ready for his race this weekend. We could be talking about a drop round here, but That's just my best estimation off an educated guess based off of how I know that the car drives, and if the 2 or 3 or 4 laps that I did run around Brands Hatch in this car kind of gave me a slight idea of, I guess, what to expect. But your boy Ghost here's only got about 20 laps in this week for this week's round, so not a lot of information I can really offer on a educated, for sure, this is what we can expect to see kind of guess. So your guess is as good as mine here this week. I think that the higher divisions, the pros, the elites, and the pro-am guys are going to struggle to make one-stop work on this racetrack with the 35 laps, and because Brands Hatch is so technical, it's really hard on the tires, essentially, mainly, and that is going to be a big time factor here in the races this week. So we do have Ben Blaker still holding the lead here, RWBPD battling with him here viciously. It looks like RWBPD is just going to settle in behind him here and wait for him to make a mistake or wait for him to get a bad run on a corner here, and he's just going to ride the wave here right now. And Merch is the fastest man on the racetrack currently with a 125.421 as well, so cruising quite well. PD here in second place, 3.3 seconds ahead of our third place driver is Apex Racing's Heathen currently on the racetrack. We've seen a little mistake out of him earlier as well. James, who was leading the race very early on, looked very, very comfortable up there, had a sizable lead, definitely making a mistake there, and he is going to now trying to recover from that. He dropped all the way down to 6th place there. Merch is now up into 5th here, and Rick James has gotten around him, so Merch has been, I'm going to say, well, Blaker and Petey so far are our best consistent drivers up front. Corn Dog also having an issue on the racetrack early on here today in P6 here. Mr. Smurf having some form of issue as well. He's dropped down some positions. K Record, I don't think, has really had too many issues. Again, he's just playing a strategy here, I think. Justin Salinari just didn't get a great racing start here today. We can see him having, a hard hit into the wall there as he's coming around the Dunlop. I believe these are the Dunlops. And that is going to be some damage on that car for the next 30 seconds for this driver. And then Chip Reese, who must have had a mistake somewhere along the way as well, or he's opted to pit, and I just didn't catch it at some point in the race in 10th place. So we've had half the field, or a little over half the field, have some form of issue already here at Brands Hatch. It is a wild beast to tame. You're not wrong, Trone. Let's go. Benjo says, Budsy, here, right with you, Ghost. I'm not ready either. Oh boy. Well, there we go. We got some drivers that are going to be coming in a little antsy, I guess you can call it, because we're just not properly prepared. Of course, every race car driver likes to be properly prepared, especially for a track this technical. Brands Hatch is a lot of fun. I love the racetrack, but without really knowing what you're going to expect for tire wear and fuel consumption on the stint, it's going to be interesting. But these drivers have clearly been putting some time in for this race. They all look very good. Qualifying was pretty tight all the way up through the top 8 drivers here. I think it was only split by about 1.5 seconds, so pretty good pace being shown by our amateur guys here today. Blaker defending for his life here against RWBPD. Now, the bigger question is this really worth it this early in the race to be defending this hard? I mean, PD's settled in, you know, he decided to follow behind Ben Blaker a little bit, but PD may be figuring he's got a better pace than Ben Blaker at this point and just wants to get around him, but Ben's just not making it easy on him. And at the same time, again, like I said, is this worth battling for right now this early in the race? I mean, we're going to see at least one pit stop here yet, and all this is doing is allowing the rest of the field to catch up to him. So that little bit of couple of battles these guys have had for a very short, brief amount of time has allowed Apex Racing's Heathen to gain a second now on those 2 drivers up in the lead. James here in 4th place. He hasn't gained any time on Heathen yet. It's still about a 6.5 second gap, and of course he has Merch and Corn Dog in tow here as well. So lots of racing left here yet tonight. We got Smurf here coming around in 7th place. We got Record coming around in 8th. We got Justin Salinari here in 9th, and then we've got Chip coming around here in 10th place. So Blaker is our race leader here, of course, and we're trying to we're keeping our eye on this, because I know for the second that I stop keeping my eye on this, we're going to see a battle for the lead here. So we're going to try and hold on to this here for a second, and let's go Long Island, keep it on the track. Mr. J. Salinari, we got Corey Hawkins coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, everybody. Ben Blaker's just doing everything he can to keep Petey off. Petey's just trying to assess a way around Blaker at this point here. He's taking different lines. He does have a side-by-side run with Ben here now, but he's going to put himself in a dangerous situation coming on the outside of, what is this, the Lewis's corner? Oh my, I almost feel like that's right, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure some of our English viewers may very well know better than I will. But Paddock Hill Bend here now with PD in the advantage, and he's got Ben Blaker hanging on the outside here. Can Ben respond with a cutback? No. So RWB PD is going to take that race lead back after starting on pole position, drop down a couple spots, but he's going to leave that inside line back over as we come into Druids. And Ben Blaker can't quite make it work. He hooks up on that curb and it almost tosses that car sideways. Great recovery there by Blaker. He's going to lose that time to RWB PD. He's going to have to make that time back up, and now all that's done is allowed Apex's Racing's Heathen, who's leading the championship standings coming into week 6 here, to gain some ground on him. So within a second now is Apex Racing's Heathen. James in 4th place. He is slowly gaining on these three. So every time these guys battle, this pack is catching up. Merch just behind at 1.2 seconds. Corndog is right there, 1.5 seconds. Mr. Smurf a little bit behind, 4 seconds behind. We've got Record here in 8th place, 9 seconds behind, and then we have a little bit of a time gap here again. But we don't know the strategies of our drivers. I honestly don't really know what to expect here today. I usually have a pretty good idea what we should expect to see for strategies in these races, obviously, as I do practice for my own races on Sundays. But I just don't have the first clue this week. We just haven't really had an opportunity to really get proper information. So it's unfortunate. So these guys are going to set a precedence and show us and give us an inside look at what we should be thinking about for strategy as at the higher divisions. But again, these guys are running on 2 times tire and 3 times fuel, where the Pro, Elite, and Pro-Ams run on 3 and 4. So it does make a pretty significant difference over 35 laps. RWB PD 1 second gap on Blaker. Blaker showing some pretty good pace around Brands Hatch here today. Apex Racing's Heathen has just reeled him right in. He's in that slipstream now, so he's going to have the toe now. And Dare to Air is huge here at Brands Hatch again, because you're never really on that long of a run at any point on this racetrack. You can overshoot a braking point really easily here if you're tucked right in behind another car. So ooh, and you can see that right there. We're just talking about it. A little bit of commentator's curses. Apex Racing's Heathen just getting a little bit out in the marbles there, catches that curbing and just sliding sideways there. That's going to allow Merch to really close up here now on him in 4th place. So unfortunate there for Apex Heathen. Just as we're talking about it, we see exactly what we're talking about. He went to take a little bit of clean air into his race car and realized he was at the braking point already. So had to react very quickly there, and it just didn't quite work out in his favor. But he does hold 3rd place, so he's is still there and battling. We got James here up into 5th place now. Corndog starting to put some pressure on him. Merch has gotten back around up into 4th place a little while ago there. Mr. Smurf still chilling here in 7th place with Record not too far behind in 8th. Salinari in 9th, and of course Chip here in 10th. So RWB PD is the leader of this race, and he is the man chasing Apex Racing's Heathen in the standings as well, ladies and gentlemen. Do we not? Oh, we do have audio. Thank goodness. I was going to say, oh no, I forgot to check the stream audio. We're good. All right, beautiful. RW, you would have let me know, right, Chad? I don't doubt you guys wouldn't have let me know for sure. All right, so RWB PD's going to move. Oh, he didn't. Every time he tries to leave that door open, you're going to see Blaker try to take a look there. So he did stick his nose in there, and PD at the last possible second closing it up. So he's going to pull into the racing line here. Again, not exactly the best corner to try and make a move on is that corner, but if Ben can get him inside of him here and coming into third seas a little bit later on the brakes, he can get around him here. Let's see what Ben Blaker does here. He may go for a cutback attempt. No, he's going to just stay in behind RWB PD here. So maybe these guys realizing the battling is just slowing them down at this point, and they kind of need to maintain that gap to the 3rd place driver, Apex Racing Season. Now, obviously, with his self-induced mistake there a lap ago, that helped a little bit with that gap, 5.8 seconds, but it was larger just a few turns ago, so he is already making that time back up on those guys up in front. Merch 2.2 seconds behind that 3rd place driver, and he's bringing the pack with him with James and Corndog. And then Mr. Smurf is about 5 seconds behind these guys. So, again, we don't know what the strategies are from these drivers here currently. We are lap 12 of 35. So, I mean, we're not at the halfway point until about lap 18 here, ladies and gentlemen. So, there's plenty of time to see what kind of strategies are going to come out here in our Mercedes class. Of course, our amateur division here today. This is presented by Flat Out Racing North America, ladies and gentlemen. Our sponsors are GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team, and of course I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Welcome in. If you're new to the broadcast, we do appreciate you being here. We hope you are enjoying the racing action here so far on track at Brands Hatch in the United Kingdom. We are on the Gran Turismo 7 platform, ladies and gentlemen, and this is round 6 of a 10-week season. This is our final round of 2022 as well, ladies and gentlemen, so this is kind of the big goodbye to 2022, and we'll ring in 2023 on January 7th for round 7. So the guys will have about 3 weeks off, give or take, for the holiday break and New Year's, of course. They'll go home, get with their families, allow their crews to go get some quality time at home with the families as well, and put the race cars away for a couple of weeks. Get back at it a week before for testing, get these cars all dusted off and back into pristine condition, and it'll be race time for the race to the championship, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be pretty good start to the new year here from Flat Out Racing. And oh, Corn Dog getting it a little bit wrong there. He's just getting out of the way of James there as he's coming flying around. So great recognition by both those drivers there, as Corn Dog got himself into a wee bit of trouble there gathering that car up, and he does a good job of gathering the car up without getting damaged, so huge props to him for that. But gonna lose that position to James there and drop himself back down into 6th place there. So we're seeing some of the struggles of Brands Hatch here, and this is just an ordinary day at Brands Hatch, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna see it from all our divisions this weekend, and I will promise you. So no matter how good of a driver these guys are, you're gonna see these mistakes. We're gonna see drivers end up in the kitty litter and mowing some grass at some point throughout these races this weekend, and it's just the nature of Brands Hatch here in the United Kingdom. Again, it's a tight little technical race course for these big GT3 cars, and it's a lot of work for these guys. They really got to keep concentrating. They got to remain focused here, because just the slightest little lapse of concentration can ruin your race day here very quickly. So Blaker back in the lead. He's gotten around RWB PD after that little great battle we seen just a lap and a bit ago. PD now chasing here again in second. We're at lap 14 of 35, ladies and gentlemen. Apex Racing's Heathen gaining time on these guys, and he is now the fastest man on the racetrack with a 125 flat here as well. So Merch is very close in behind here, just 0.6 of a second behind in that slipstream. So we should see his pace starting to drop down with that as well. We got James here in 5th place, and he's closing in on these guys, so he's starting to settle into his race here. Corn Dog in 6th place. We've seen him just get a little bit out of sorts earlier there, had a great save. Mr. Smurf in 7th. Record here in 8th place, and again, just Mr. chilling back here, man, doing his thing. I am expecting to potentially see a one-stop attempt out of a couple of these drivers in the back. It just seems to me like that's what they're up to back there, and I guess we'll have to see how it works out for them. We have seen that one-stop strategy all season long really be the dominant strategy, but this is a different race, this race, with the 35 lap factor here on a tire-eating track. So hey, let's go y'all, says Nolander Gaming. What is up, my dude? Also coming in with that thumbs up there on the stream, much love. But RWB PD, he's flying. He's rocking out the orange car here today, and it's actually looking quite good here. Let's see if our camera guys can get a great shot of that as he's coming through Surtseas here. Ooh, he's coming through really wide, and oh boy, that is going to cost him that position. Lead is going to go back to Ben Blaker, and RWB PD is going to fall back into 2nd place. So these guys have been swapping that lead around here for a little bit, and oh boy, that's a bad mistake there for PD, as Apex Racing's Heathen now going to take advantage. He's going to slot into 2nd place here. RWB PD is going to fall into 3rd place, and Merch is right in behind. So that is a change of events. We have James here 2.3 seconds behind these guys closing in as well. So that mistake from RWB PD cost him 2 positions and lead from Ben Blaker here. So total loss of 3 positions, 1st to 4th place of Blaker now with a little bit of a cushion here, 2.8 seconds. So let's see if Apex Racing's Heathen has anything. It's a 124.735 now, so he is shedding those times down on the racetrack here. He's decided to put his nose down, put his foot into it a little bit, and with that being said, he is bringing along Merch for the ride here as well. So Merch is having a good drive here, just tucked right in behind Apex Racing Heathen right now, letting him do all the hard work and just letting them pull him around Brands Hatch. So Heathen really pushing right now to try and keep up with that leader. James now up into 4th place, so PD losing position here to James now. PD is just out of sorts here, but he's going to go inside into Druids here, gonna get that spot back from James. And I don't think we're done talking about James here yet tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Rick James here is just absolutely put on a show. He getting a little bit loose there under throttle, though does a great job of gathering it. Boy, we're seeing some great saves from these drivers here tonight, chat. Corn Dog here in 6th place, Mr. Smurf in 7th, K Record here in 8th place. Justice Alinari, he's going out into the sand, and he is going to save it too. Chip Reese here in 10th place, and boy, oh boy, these drivers are showing off some skills here on this racetrack. Even when they're making their mistakes, they are keeping those cars together and getting it back down the road. What's up, Anthony? How you doing, my dude? I am doing well as well. Foxes says says that. Red Bull GT, Anthony coming in with the like and the share. Much love, my dude. But Blaker right now is the man leading the charge here, and we're coming on to lap 17 here at the end of this lap, so potentially we are going to end up seeing some one-stop strategies maybe here, ladies and gentlemen, and I am a little bit surprised, I'm not going to lie. But I did say that I did point out that with their settings compared to the rest of the divisions up above them, this would be the one division that I would potentially expect to see the one-stop more prominent over the two-stop. But again, I'm just guessing here. I don't really have a whole lot of information. Oh, we see Apex Racing's Heathen getting it wrong coming into Paddock Hill Bend, almost getting into the wall there, and he is deep in the sand. He is going to have to trudge that car out, and ooh, very fortunate there to not get in the way of Corn Dog coming around there, as the car ghosted just for a moment. So I thought I seen somebody just say they had to go there. I think one of the gentlemen, yes, we did see one of our drivers dip there, so I just did see a message, looked like maybe an emergency came up, so one race car driver pulling his car off the racetrack here, so we have lost one driver. And it was Justin Salinari here, so hope all is well, brother. We're thinking of you, hope everything's good. But he's going to take that chopper, he's going to get off the racetrack here, and he's going to go deal with what he's got to deal with. Family does come first here, ladies and gentlemen, so all the best to Mr. Salinari here. Blaker here in the lead, down to 9 drivers here. Merch now in second place. RWB Petey's now up into third place. Corn Dog back up in the fourth place, and Apex Racing's Heathen back down into fifth place. So it has been a roller coaster race here for some of these drivers on racetrack. And oh, and Apex Racing Heathen's getting it wrong again, ladies and gentlemen, and just not locked into the race right now. This man just needs to get it dialed back in. He has plenty of race left to catch up, and just having a rough lap here. So he's going to have dirty tires now. He's going to have to get this together before he comes. I believe this is called Lewis's Corner. I just don't know why I think that, but that's why I think that. I'm not sure what it is, but the final corner here, we're going to see Heathen come in. He's going to get off the medium tire here and jump onto that soft tire. We've got Record here. He's going to come around, and he's going to come into pit lane as well here and get off that medium tire. We've got Chip here, who we just seen go into pit lane there. Let's go back to our race leader as he's coming around here. So Apex Racing Heathen having a little bit of a struggle there early on in the race, and this is a tough racetrack, man. Stay focused, Heathen. Keep pushing, brother. Absolutely. I mean, what do you do? Tough racing out here today with some guys, absolutely incredible pace. Blaker in the lead. Merch, who, again, very ambitious move early on in the race, put himself all the way to the back of the pack, has fought his way back up to second place. RWB PD has been battling hard all race long, is up into P3 here. We got Corn Dog in fourth place. He's had a roller coaster race so far. Mr. Smurf is now all the way back up into fifth place here as well. And consistency here from this driver, not quite. We're seeing a little bit of vary times from the drivers here. James here in sixth place. He's been having an up and down race here so far as well. But this is Brands Hatch, ladies and gentlemen. This is a difficult racetrack. Every mistake costs you here. Apex Racing's Heathen after his pit stop coming out. He's on some fresh tires here. Record as well after his pit stop on some fresh tires. And of course Chip as well off his pit stop on some fresh tires. So we do have Blaker coming around here in first place as he's coming down Paddock Hill Bend there, getting a little bit wide there again, but keeping the car really right and tight underneath him. Lap 19 to 35 here, so we are about halfway around the racetrack here tonight, and Blaker's been looking really solid here in his second race this season, so showing he's got some pace and he's got some race here today. Oh, no, Merch has gotten it wrong off of that turn 3 curb again, ladies and gentlemen. He spun that car around. He's managed to keep it out of the wall, and he's going to give up third place to Corn Dog now. So Corn Dog moving back up into P3. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers are battling tire wear now. They're battling changing track conditions. They're maybe getting a little fatigued. It's, again, very technical racetrack. It's a very short racetrack as well. So Mr. Smurf now up into fourth place with that mistake from Merch. James in sixth place, just catching up to these guys. Apex Racing's Heathen here now in seventh place, and he's on a purple lap. Record here in eighth, and Chip in ninth. And we did lose, he's just coming out of Paddock Hill Bend there. He was in the sand a little bit, and we did lose Salinari due to reasons. He had to get off the track ASAP, so he is doing whatever he needs to do there. such a turn of events in the first half of the race. Unbelievable recovery driving from everyone so far. This has been a crazy start to our race weekend here at Flat Out Racing North America Week 6. And right now, Blaker's showing the best consistency so far. He hasn't really made that huge mistake. He's made some small mistakes, but the big mistakes so far have been avoided as he's leading the race here on lap 20. And RWBPD almost getting it wrong there, as you can see him coming down Paddock Hill Bend there as well, coming into Druids. So he's still struggling a little bit with this car. Mr. Smurf now up into third place. We've got Merch coming around here in the fourth. We've got James coming around in fifth. We've seen Cord Dog going into pit lane, so he's had enough. Gonna swap it out here. Apex Racing's Heathen here. Who else we got? We got Mr. K Record here as well, and we did see him make a stop with Apex Racing's Heathen the same lap. Chip Reese pitting the lap before those guys. So 4 of our 9 remaining drivers have made a pit stop here now. Could still potentially see a one-stop strategy, but man, that would be one bold, big one-stop strategy, chat. Let me tell you, the track is definitely showing its teeth tonight, says Chris. Absolutely. Brands Hatch is fighting these boys right before the holiday season, making them earn their holiday break without a question of a doubt, ladies and gentlemen. You are not wrong, Chris, my man. All right, we're going to do a quick little peek through. We're going to make sure everything's still holding up good. We got Nolander coming in to care as well. Much love, my dude. Appreciate you. Got Renegade up in the chat, say better off jumping in his slip. Benjo defending is allowing third place to catch up, bro. Let's go, boys. Awesome recovery from Corn Dog. Hello, love the stream, mate. Appreciate you, Icer, my guy. We do see you over there on the Flat Out Racing YouTube as well. So I hope everybody's been enjoying the racing so far. It's been pretty good. Well, this race is wild. Got that right. It is a wild race. So Ben Blaker finally coming into pit lane here. So RWPD following him in. Mr. Smurf coming into pit lane as well. Now let's see what Merch does. Merch is also coming into pit lane. Is James going to follow? Yes, he is. All right. So our other remaining drivers making their first stop of the night. Apex Racing's Heathen mowing some grass on the exit of the final second last corner there. But again, that is a corner that you can typically power through if you get it right. You just got to keep a really tight grip on that steering wheel, and you will survive that corner if you get it just right. So Apex Racing's Heathen showing that, of course, as he's coming around. So he is going to come out in second place ahead of RWBPD, but Blaker is going to come out in the lead. So he had a big enough gap to undershoot Heathen here. So the overcut for Blaker working on Heathen. He tried the undercut. That did get him back up into podium position here, but now RWB chasing, and these drivers do have a couple lap old newer tires on the race cars as well. That could factor in here at the end of the race today. Corn Dog in fourth place here as he comes out. Merch is going to stay in fifth, with Mr. Smurf is right underneath that spoiler of Merch's red Mercedes here up in front. Really rocking those Canadian colors on that car here today. Got Rick James here in seventh place after his pit record here, gaining some time on these guys with the undercut, and Chip Reese is starting to gain as well, but he is getting that blue flag, so that must be Blaker up in front here. Really bizarre that he's getting a blue flag wave here. He may be a lap down and unlapping himself there. Maybe the situation we're seeing on screen there. That is entirely possible. He may have made an early pit stop as well in the race. I'm not entirely sure, but pardon me. Yeah. Action has me all fired up. I'm sneezing here. I appreciate everybody. It's all good, Justin, my guy. It's all good, my guy. It's all good. Appreciate the consideration. Chris, thank you. Appreciate it. Bless you. But Blaker is still leading this race. So let's jump on board here with Ben Blaker. Doing on board with him here as he's coming around. So we're coming into Druids. This is turn 2. It's a very sharp right-hander. And he's taking an early apex here. There's a couple of ways you can take that corner. You can take it like Blaker did. You can take the early apex and roll it all the way around. Or you can go in a little bit deeper and take a late apex and get a straighter exit there. Typically, that does make up some time coming out of the Druids. And then Cersei's here. You really want to keep it on the apex. As soon as your car comes across that little white line that shoots across there, if you guys caught that on screen, that's kind of your acceleration point marker for Cersei's to come back on the throttle, and then you take it out wide here. You're just letting off a little bit, little tap of the brake, downshift if necessary, and just roll it through until you can get on the throttle. You're going to be braking just before the 50-meter board here. You're going to roll through in third gear, get on the power as soon as the car is back in a straight line, shift it up to fourth here. Some guys will go up to fifth. And then here you want a blind corner. It's all about timing and muscle memory here. You can see a great entry and exit by Blaker, our leader. But you can see in the mirror, Heathen is catching up there as well. And then here, third degree corner, if you get it right. Second degree corner, if you want to keep some RPM through it. Either way, I think you get a similar exit. And you can take this in third or fourth. Ben came in a little hot there, a little late on the brakes, and that's going to be hard on those soft tires. So he does make some time up on Heathen in behind there in second place, coming into the corner like that, but that is most certainly going to wear the tires out on that car a lot faster. Apex Racing's Heathen here in second place. He's got RWB Petey all behind him here, and these two are no strangers of battling each other here this season, as we've seen in previous weeks. Heathen getting it wrong coming into Druids. He's going to leave the door open for Petey here. Petey is going to take the opening, but he does on the outside coming into turn 3. Is he going to look for a cutback here? He's not quite able to get it done. He is. He's going to look for a cutback, go on the inside coming into Surtseas, and this is where you want to be if you're going to make the move coming into Surtseas here. But Heathen goes in really deep and gets a great exit coming up out of Surtseas here, and Petey's just going to have to tuck right back in behind for third place here. So nice little battle happening for second and third. We're going to go quickly check through our field here. We have Corndog in fourth place. We've got Merch in fifth. We've got Mr. Smurf in sixth. We've got Rick James in seventh. K Record here, slowly but surely clinging up to the back of these guys here in 8th, and we've got Chip here rounding out our field in 9th place, and we do have Jay Salinari with a DNF here today, car behind pit wall, but that's alright. The guys will have it back on track there after the holiday break in the new year. I can't even remember what track it is we're heading to. I'm going to have to go take a look. I think it's Fuji? I think it's Fuji. I think. But Ben Blaker here, RWBPD now fastest lap on the racetrack at 1:24.066. Let's see if anybody else has even come close to that. It doesn't really look like it. 24.5 here from Corndog. Other than that, 24.7 here from James as well. So we are seeing some drivers. Oh, we got Chip Reese a little sideways on the racetrack there. Not sure what happened there. Looked like the car just kind of went out from underneath of him. So he'll get that thing turned in the right direction and back up the racetrack again. Super unfortunate there for Chip Reese. And again, Brands Hatch, as one of the viewers said, Clarissa saying, is definitely showing, or Chris did, sorry, saying is showing his teeth here today. Noel Anderson, bless you as well. Much love, everybody. Appreciate everybody who's chilling out here tonight. We're just going to check over here. Does Heathen have enough fuel? I don't know. Does he have enough fuel is the big question here. You're not wrong. Well, I'm not going to tell you guys if he has enough fuel or not. We still have lots of racing left, so it's going to be interesting to see what these guys' plan of action is here as we're coming through the race. These guys are thinking about stretching like 20 plus laps on the soft tires. I think that's going to be a tough ask for the one stops, if that is the case that we're seeing here today. But I don't know. RWBPD here in second place, and he is pushing hard here. I mean, he is right on the backbone of Ben Blaker here. He's in that slipstream distance, 0.6 of a second behind. Third place driver Apex Racing Heathen isn't that far behind, 1.2 seconds. He's just working on getting into that slipstream here right now. The big trick is just to nail those major points in braking and make sure you don't miss your turn in here, because again, we've seen so many times these drivers make that mistake and pay the price by positions here today. Merch here in 5th place, and he's got Mr. Smurf still all over him here in 6th place, so very equal pace are these guys. Rick James here is starting to catch up to those two, so a potential three-way battle happening for 5th, 6th, and 7th there. Record here in 8th and Chip in 9th, so we got to get back to the leader here again. RWBPD and Blaker here having a pretty good battle, and Apex Racing's Heathen just kind of sitting just off the back of this battle going, come on boys, just a little one, let me get into that slip, and then we can make this a three-way battle for the lead. So here we go, side by side, RWBPD and Benjo. RWBPD backs out going into the corner again. Not the best passing spot here, so recognizing that, he's just going to stay close. He's just trying to make sure that he gets a good exit here. Ben almost gets really wide there, and PD took him a look at there, but I think he's going to go for a great exit here. Instead, he takes a wider entry into there, and he is just tucked right up underneath Ben Blaker here. And Heathen is just off the beaten path here, 1.3 seconds behind, and he just can't quite get into that slipstream yet. But as one of the viewers had noticed there, does he have the fuel to finish the race? I don't think so. I think he's looking at a two-stop strategy here. Corndog here in 4th place. We've got Merch in 5th. We've got Mr. Smurf in 6th. James in 7th, and these three have really tightened up as this race has continued on. And oh boy, just as Rick jump on the Rick James there, we see a little bit of an issue coming around that final corner. He's eating a little too much curb there, and I got that car unsettled and sideways. Mr. Smurf here now chasing Merch down up in the 5th place. He lost a little bit of time on Merch there, I think, with that a little bit of an oops from Rick James, but nothing major. He's back on the road and not too far behind Mr. Smurf, so didn't lose a ton of time. Just lost track of that car a little bit. Record here in 8th place. Great camera shot here. The secondary cockpit camera looks pretty cool here. Doesn't really do us a lot of justice in the Mercedes with that placement marker in the windshield there on the top right hand side of the screen. So in real life, ladies and gentlemen, as these drivers are going around the racetrack, it would have the driver's position in a color-coded number on the windshield so that the viewers, the commentators at the racetrack, can tell what position and what class that each of these GT3 drivers are. So in real-life GT racing, you know, you see grids of 40 or 50 cars depending on the racetrack, where unfortunately we're limited to 16 here in Gran Turismo, and when we have myself and the broadcaster in the booth live, it actually limits these guys to 15 spots on the grid. So yeah, so that is what we were seeing on kind of blocking our view through the windshield on the right hand side of the screen there, and that's what the purpose of that is in real life GT car racing. Obviously you can't see it here because it's covered by the window banner, but it doesn't quite work like that here in Gran Turismo either. So but a little bit of fun facts, in real life racing, that's exactly what that would be inside the race car, but they would also position the camera so that wasn't blocking the view of the viewers. So exactly, a multi-class races too. That's correct, Chris, you betcha, you betcha. New thing here, I think that was implemented just a couple of years ago in GT racing, so it's fun because even as a viewer sitting at home watching on YouTube or a sports channel, you can easily decipher the classes and who's in what position as well, just sitting at home watching it from your TV. And so it does make it quite simple as a viewer to understand or keep following what is happening on the track. And I mean, us as broadcasters, I mean, honestly, chat, we need all the help we can get sometimes, you know what I'm saying? All right, so our Merch here in 5th place, and he is starting to see a battle here from Mr. Smurf. So Mr. Smurf is starting to put some pressure here on Merch, and Merch is starting to kind of go a little semi-defensive here. I mean, maybe a little bit early to be playing defense here right now, but at the same time, maybe not. I mean, only 8.5 laps remaining here at Brands today, and Mr. Smurf just backing out a little bit coming through. I think these are called the Dunlops. Boy, it's going to bother me. I'm going to have to verify the name of these two corners are. And then we're coming around the final, second last corner here. And then I think it's called Lewis's Corner. I really do. But we do have Apex Racing's Heathen coming into pit lane here now. The driver on a 2-stop strategy. Not sure how well that's going to work out for him here today. Blaker here in 1st place. We got PD here in 2nd, purple lap, and he is again trying to find a way around Blaker here in the backside of that pink Mercedes up in front of him. And boy, oh boy, these two have been locked in just a race-long battle back and forth for that lead. And it's been a juicy battle, and I don't think it's going to be over anytime soon here. So it is a patience game here right now. I mean, unless RWB PD feels he's just got outright pace on Blaker, now's the time to make a move and pull the gap. But honestly, I mean, in RWB's PD position here right now, he needs to just stay super close, keep putting the pressure on Blaker, either force him into that mistake due to the pressure, or wait till the last lap to make the move, so you have limited time you need to defend that position on the guy in front. Right now, Blaker is just wearing his race car out defending here, and PD is doing exactly kind of, I think, what we're talking about. He's not, ooh, a little bit of a wiggle there from Ben Blaker, and that is the problem with going defensive. So the pressure's starting to be felt by our race leader here, and RWB PD is on the inside here. He did have a nose in there, so Ben Blaker went to squeeze him off a little bit, maybe not realizing he was in that close, and does make a little contact there as he does get the run up the outside of the corner here. But RWB PD is going to tuck right back in coming into Paddock Hill Bend. It's going to put him on the outside. It's a dangerous spot to be in this corner. He decides to just back it off a little tiny bit, go for the exit, and he gets a good exit here. He's on him. Blaker's going to defend coming into Druids. We're not surprised to see that, but if PD can get a good run out of here, he might be able to get up on the inside for turn 3. Again, I said it's not the best place to pass, but again, if you're already side by side, it's going to give you that ultimate inside line. PD's just being patient here. He's been picking his spots to try and battle with Blaker here, and this has been a cracking battle. We have Corndog up in 3rd place here. Apex Racing's Heathen coming out in P7 here after that pit stop. So the strategy not maybe working out the best for him here tonight, but there's a lot of racing left yet. We still have 5.5 laps with the leaders here right now where we're at in the racetrack remaining. Anything can happen here yet. Blaker and Petey though battling super hard here for this race win currently on the racetrack, and this could be a good thing or a bad thing. It all depends on how you look at it. 4 seconds is that gap to third place, and right now we're not seeing a lot of battling. We're seeing RWB Petey looking to catch up. Corndog just made a mistake there. That's going to allow Merch to slowly gain there, and you got to see the yellow flag get waved there, so we did see Mr. Smurf have to back out. Well, so what would have happened there is if he would have passed Mercer during that yellow flag, he would have actually received a 3-second penalty. That was great recognition by our 5th place driver, Mr. Smurf, and not to pick up that 3-second penalty. He most certainly had the run on Merch up ahead of him, but quickly reading what was happening on the racetrack, and great call by Mr. Smurf there. That could be a deciding factor for his race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely great awareness on the racetrack by this driver right here. Man, I gotta tell you, that's not easy to do on the fly like this. You're in the battle, you want that position. He backed out of that position to make sure he avoided that penalty. That penalty would have been the end of his race here for him at this point in the race. So great job by Mr. Smurf there. Rick James here still tucked right in behind in 6th place as well. And we got a couple of battles developing here. Apex Racing's Heathen 12 seconds off these guys. And if these guys are all on a one-stop strategy, it may be too little too late for Apex Racing's Heathen here. Not picking the right strategy for the day today. And I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Wheel-to-wheel racing the front too. Wow, yeah, absolutely. Some great racing there. But Blaker now got a gap, almost 5 seconds on Petey. So something has happened to our 2nd place driver. You can see all kinds of damage on this race car. I can see all kinds of damage on the race car. And that is going to hurt his possibility potentially here for a race win. Ben Blaker just needs to keep his head down, stay focused, stay calm, and just bring this race car home right now and manage that 4-second gap. PD must do much of the same thing here from Corndog. He's got 4-second gap still from Corndog here, and Merch is in 4th place and next nearest driver 12 seconds behind. So we have 5 laps remaining, and really the battle right now I think is between 4th, 5th, and 6th place here with Merch, Mr. Smurf, and Rick James, of course. Apex Racing's Heathen is there, but again 11 seconds away. He is shedding time down, but I think it's just a little bit of the miscued strategy here from Apex Racing's Heathen here today, and that's interesting. That's going to play into the standings as we move into the holiday season. If he doesn't get a good result here, Mr. Smurf is smart. He shops at Lowe's. Absolutely. A little inside joke there, chat. I understand exactly what he means. So a little snicker coming from the broadcaster there, but yeah, absolutely. He is a smart driver. That was great. The recognition and awareness there by him in that situation. RWB PD's 3.5 seconds, so he is closing back up on Blaker here, but can he close up quick enough? Record coming in here for a pit stop. Corndog here in 3rd place. He's coming around, and it looks like some of these drivers may not be able to stretch this out all the way. It's going to be interesting to see, chat. Little birdie's telling me some secrets here. And oh boy, Apex Racing's Heathen making a mistake here. He's going to whip it back around here in P7. He's just not having the best day here today, ladies and gentlemen. He has not been able to conquer Brands Hatch. So, have we found the Achilles heel of Apex Racing Team, ladies and gentlemen? Is it Brands Hatch? We're about to find out as we progress through the rest of our divisions over the next few days. Record here in 8th place after his pit. Rich Chip, of course, in 9th. Still good points for Chip here. Just keeping it on the track and keeping it together and keeping the car running as well. And top 9 finish for Chip, even maybe not having the best race here today. But Blaker is in the lead, 6 seconds. He's opened that gap up on RWB's PD at this point, so he's looking pretty solid. RWB PD, he's in 2nd place here, and like I tell you, these tires are looking pretty used up here from RWB PD, and you can tell just by the amount of time that Corndog is really starting to make up on PD here. It was 4 seconds just last lap when we were going around here, and now it's down to slipstream range and closing. So Corndog is closing up on RWB PD, so we're about to see a battle for 2nd and 3rd place here now. And boy, it just doesn't matter, man. These guys are giving it everything they got. They want every possible position on the racetrack here, and that is exactly what we love to see at Flat Out Racing North America, ladies and gentlemen. Sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team. Check their websites out for more information and some pretty awesome swag and gear available by both our main title sponsors here as well. We have RWB PD, and I mean, he is just holding off Corndog at this point. It really is a matter of time before Corndog gets the right run out of the right corner and just says, see you later, my friend, as he's just got better grip underneath that race car currently. Merch in 4th place, and Mr. Smurf still very tight together here in 4th to 5th, and Rick James must have made a mistake here at some point. He's 14 seconds back. That may allow Apex Racing's Heathen to grab yet one more spot, and it did look like he was going wide into that corner there, so we'll have to see if he drops down a position or not. His record isn't too far off the beaten path of Apex Racing's Heathen. Again, Blaker sitting very solidly in 1st place, 4.6 seconds. RWB Petey doing everything he can to try and catch back up to Blaker up in front, but he has Corndog in that slipstream in his review mirror, and all he can see is that bright green car coming of Corndog. So looking pretty solid here tonight is Corndog as well. Fastest man on the racetrack as well, ladies and gentlemen, does belong to Corndog with a 123.976 on the track here as well. So, whew. I gotta tell you, this has been a pretty intense race here tonight, Chad. I gotta say, Merch in 4th place here, Mr. Smurf in 5th, we got James in 6th, we got Apex Heathen in 7th, we got Record here in 8th, Chip here in 9th, and here is our race leader. So let's just throw these guys up real quick here. Wrong one. While we are almost finished this race here, so we do have Apex Heathen with 110 points, PD with 89, Record with 76, Mr. Smurf with 70, Perea with 56, Merch with 50, Koke with 38, OBR Andres with 27, Chip Reese with 27, and rounding on our top 10 is Venspeed. Now keep note, Ben Blaker just in the backside of that there on his first race in 11th place, just nipping at that top 10 spot, and potentially looking at a race win here today as well. So good job by Blaker here, and looking to get a good start for the ice racing team here this weekend here in week 6 as well. RWB PD been strong all season long, sitting in a pretty good position here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hold off Corndog. We got 1.5 laps remaining here. Corndog still not able to get the job done. Merch is picking up on Mr. Smurf a little bit here. Mr. Smurf is on some older tires compared to the driver in front. James here in 6th place. He's in a pretty comfortable position at this point. We've got Record now in 7th place. Heathen is just not having his race this week here in 8th place, and Chip Reese in 9th. So instead of grabbing a potential position, losing a position, there is Apex Racing's Heathen and our championship standings leader in jeopardy here at the end of round 6 here this week, with not having the best race here for him tonight. So he's definitely going to have those mechanics looking at that car, seeing what's going on there. It almost looks like he has some form of maybe sway bar issue or tie rod issue in that race car currently, but definitely giving him some struggle. So a battle for the lead here. So Blaker has let the guys close it up, and we're going to come down to a 1-lap showdown potentially here, ladies and gentlemen, as we are starting our final lap when Ben and Petey and Corndog all cross the start-finish line. It is our final lap, 1 to go, ladies and gentlemen, and Ben Blaker, who looked like he had this thing in the bag, is now under pressure from RWB Petey, and Corndog is just sitting back there in 3rd place, relaxing. Little does he realize he is the driver with the best tires underneath of him right now as well. So very interesting. And ooh, Petey's getting really wide there. You can see him really gather that car up. And it was a good job there by Petey, but he's going to have dirty tires coming into Cersei's here. He's going to have to really watch how wide of an exit he gets here. He manages to keep it together, but oh boy. It is battle on all the way to the finish here, ladies and gentlemen, for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. All 3 podium positions are definitely going to be up for grabs here and can swap around. A little bit of contact there from RWB's Petey, that pushing Ben Baker out a little bit wide. You can see him just tuck right back in behind. He doesn't want to take the position away from the race leader like that. So he is back in the slipstream, and boy, oh boy, we're running out of corners here, ladies and gentlemen. Is there going to be a move coming into the final corner? It is going to be full defensive mode here for the race leader. Corndog taking a look up the inside here. We're coming down into the final corners, ladies and gentlemen. Who is going to win this race? It is too hard to tell. Any one of these drivers can make the mistake. Any one of these drivers can get a good run, and it looks like it's going to be Blaker. Petey goes into the sand, so that's going to give Corndog P2, and RWB Petey under the pressure, not able to hold the corner. Ben Blaker's going to take the win. Corndog is going to take 2nd. Is Petey going to take 3rd place here? He should have enough of a gap on Merch ahead in 4th place here, and Petey just surviving there, coming out in P3 Woo! What a finish, chat. What a finish. Great racing there by those three drivers. Merch in fourth place here. He just wasn't close enough to take advantage of that mistake by Petey. But a solid finish there for Merch. Mr. Smurf going to come around here in P5. I'm sure he's going to be thrilled about that finish here today. James coming around in his debut, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to have a solid sixth place finish. And this guy looked racy tonight, ladies and gentlemen. For 70 years old, give this man a round of applause in his debut this week. Sixth place job, place finish for Rick James here. K record here, under pressure from Apex Racing's Heathen. So a little bit interesting. These two drivers going to battle it out to the finish line here now. Both these drivers ideally not having their best race. Record gets a good exit there. He is going to hold P7 from Heathen there. Heathen won't be able to grab that position. It is going to be a race to the line for 7th and 8th place between Record, but it is going to be Record in 7th. Apex Racing's Heathen here in 3rd place, and it is going to be Chip Reese coming around in style, chat, for 9th place finish here in the race today. And not quite getting across that start and finish line, but coming around in style, chat, and showing a little bit of frustration here at the end of the day today. But GG's to all our drivers, and of course we're gonna see Mr. Chip get that thing turned around and get that thing across the start finish line, because he's an absolute legend, just like all our drivers here today. And let's get a hashtag Chris up in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, for the 100-star bomb. Good comms. GT45 is always great comms. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, from Chris. So hashtag Chris up in the chats for the 100-star bomb over on Facebook. Much love, my dude. Let's catch up on some chat here. Who am I? Turn 1, Paddock Hill. Turn 2, Druids. Turn 3, Graham Hill. Turn 4, Cersei's. Hawthorns, Westfield. Look at this. Look at Ice or Renegade coming in with all the corner names. I should have looked sooner. Westfield, Sweetcar, Sterling's, Clearways. Right. Okay, now it's familiar. Those are your turn names for Brands GP. Much love, my dude. Wow, what a race. Good job, good job. Hashtag Chris. Hey, cheers, brother. Whew, I am sweating. That was one heck of a race, chat. Let me tell you. So, congratulations to Ben Blaker, Corndog, and RWB's Petey, ladies and gentlemen. So these are the three drivers we'll be waiting for in the drivers chat in the Discord here at Flat Out Racing North America. We'll give them an opportunity to talk about their races, and it should be quite interesting. Way to go, Foxes. Great comms as always. Almost caught me saying that, Trone. Almost got me saying a bad word. I'm laughing a little bit inside. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Almost got me saying a bad word. That was close. That was very, very close. Alright, fantastic stuff, everybody. Alright. So let's check it in. So congratulations to Ben Blaker for the race victory here. I believe fastest lap does belong to Merch with that 1:23.7. And pole position, of course, belongs to RWB Petey. Pretty important point for him with Apex Racing's Heathen not having the best finish here today. That does, of course, allow for him to get a pretty large points gain on our championship standing leader. So we're trying to save the replay is what we're trying to do here. Don't forget to save your replays, guys. And congratulations to our top three drivers. So we're going to flip it over to the podium interview screen, chat. Just to bear with me for uno momento. And we'll be back in about 90 seconds for those podium interviews from our amateur division here tonight. So hang tight. We'll be right back. Oh, you can still hear me? No, you cannot. All right, chat. I am back. We're just waiting for our third and second place drivers to see if they're going to pop into our post-race interview chat here. So we are waiting for RWBPD and, of course, Corn Dog. And boy, we got a lot to talk about here in this race. I mean, that was a crazy, crazy race. I mean, I guess what else should we expect here from Flat Out Racing North America? I mean, these amateur guys really put it all on the line here tonight in round 6. And I think these guys are hungry. I think these guys want to win these races. And boy, oh boy, we've seen a little bit of everything in this race today. We've seen some great battling. We've seen some great passing. We've seen some not so great battling, some not so great passing. We've seen drivers just not having the best of days, making those mistakes that cost big time here at Brands Hatch. We've seen drivers going up and down and all around the field here today. And at the end of the day, we finally do have our race finish after 35 pretty long, grueling laps here at Brands Hatch. So, and we do have Corn Dog here. We're just waiting to see if RWBPD is going to pop in here tonight. And of course, we do know that he has a family back at home, and he has the little guy back at the house there as well. So we are just going to give him another minute here, and if not, we'll just start talking to the other two drivers that are in the chat here, and then if he pops in, we'll of course drop back down to him and have a quick chat with him. But we got lots happening here right now too, chat. My apologies. I have so many messages to answer at the end of the stream. All right. I think we're just going to jump in here with our second place driver here for the time being. Let me check the Discord real quick here in our Pro-Am or Am chat, sorry. And just let me catch up. Alright, well, usually RWBPD comes and talks to us, but he may not be able to get to us tonight here, so we'll continue on for the time being without our third place finisher. But of course, if he does pop in, then we will of course talk to him. So we'll just give him a quick shout out here for the time being, just in case he does pop in. But congratulations to RWBPD again, another solid race here. Ever since he stepped into the series, he's been fighting for those podium positions, and after some pretty crazy battling all race long, especially with Ben Blaker here, he ends up in a P3 position, making that mistake into the final corner there. And it was some crazy racing right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, a great battle for the finish for all three podium positions at the end, and RWBPD ended up on the bottom end of that battle for third place. But some crazy epic battling from these guys, and I mean, we can't expect anything less from Flat Out Racing North America. It doesn't seem to matter what division it is that is racing on track. These guys are just putting it all on the line. So congratulations to Petey. If he comes back in, of course, we'll chat with him here a little bit later. But we're going to move over to our second place driver here, Corn Dog. Now, this driver looked good all race long. He had a roller coaster race here for himself in a sense. He was moving up fairly quickly, and then he'd make a little mistake that turned into just a quick a quick little sideways around the racetrack or a short little spin. But here on Brands Hatch, when the pack is so tight, it does lose quite a few positions. So congratulations, first of all, on a second place finish. I believe this is your first podium this season, if I'm not mistaken, right? Only your second race?
That's right, second race. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I was struggling there in the beginning, got off to a decent start, but then hit a rough patch and thought I was kind of out of it, and was fortunate enough to come back and get back to the pack and finally catch up to some people after some mistakes there. So it was a very exciting race.
So, of course, leading into Brands Hatch, clearly Brands Hatch was fighting back to the race car drivers this weekend to start the series off here for week 6. I mean, we've seen all kinds of drivers having all sorts of various battles with the racetrack. So when you come to Brands Hatch, is it more of a battle with the racetrack, or is it a battle against the competition?
I feel like this whole track, it's all about the racetrack. It's all about keeping your lines and getting that car around there as fast as possible. There are tight areas for everybody, but it seems like a very difficult track for everyone, where it's more about just managing yourself and your position on the track and making sure you hit your lines so that you can just keep putting in clean laps to catch up to the pack.
Absolutely, and very well said. And I mean, how are you enjoying the series so far? Again, only your second week in, qualifying just a couple weeks ago. You had your debut last week in Interlagos. You had a pretty good race at Interlagos, but it looks like you really settled in here for round 2. For your second week, sorry, round 6, I guess. Solid second place finish is going to give you 21 points, so that's really going to shoot you up into the mid-pack of the standings as well. So we have a few days off here, obviously now moving into the holiday season, Christmas around the corner, New Year's around the corner. We do resume regular racing again on January 7th, and I believe that's at Fuji. So what's going to be your thought process once you're kind of back at the racetrack and getting ready to settle in for the remainder of the season?
Well, yeah, I feel like after the first race and getting my bearings, running out of gas on the last lap, and learning from some mistakes there. On the second one, sticking kind of to the same pre-schedule of getting prepared for the race in a couple days or whatnot, and then just jumping right back in there, trying to figure out from some of my colleagues here on the channel how to make my way around there quick, and using their advice and trying to implement it all within a couple weeks time to get back in there.
Absolutely, and I mean, it looked like the practice paid off for you here today. I mean, like I said, we've seen some smaller incidents made by yourself. Of course, just miscues here at Brands Hatch. Like I said, a small mistake here at Brands Hatch typically will cost you positions, even the smallest of mistakes. We've seen that all race long, but let's talk about that battle right at the end of the race. I mean, you're chasing down RWBPD for third place. You got 2 or 3 laps remaining, and everything changes. I'm not sure what happened to the race leader at that point. We'll have to ask him once we get to his portion of the interview here. But he dropped a 4-second gap all of a sudden down to you two guys that were battling for second and third place, and it very quickly became a battle for the race win. Did you realize, to start, that you were on better tires than the 2 drivers in front, or were you really just trying to get that thing around safe and sound and home for a podium finish here today? What was your thought process in the last 3 laps as you guys were coming around there?
Yeah, I think there was a point where I was in between kind of 2 packs there, and obviously the front pack and the back, and I was a little hesitant of whether or not I should push and risk it or just keep going. But the front pack, PD and and the first place driver, they slowed up a little bit where I was able to catch them, and luckily slowing down PD at one point in the last couple laps, I felt like he was definitely faster than me. But the lead driver was slowing him up in the last lap specifically, where I was just really managing to stay in third, and it was just fortunate enough he kind of hit the dirt on that last turn there going into the final stretch, and was able to pick up second on the way.
Absolutely, and I mean, I guess that's a pretty good point in time for you. I mean, you had some distance between Ben and, of course, PD going into the final corner there, and that was probably a good call on your part, because I think what happened there was this PD's tires just didn't want to hold the corner at the speed he tried to take it at, and that grip level just let go, and it just pulled him into the sand trap. But you had a great line coming into the final corner there in case one of those drivers were to make that mistake, and moving yourself up into a very nice P2 finish. So is this your ever first podium in league racing?
Yeah, first league, first podium. Actually, this is my, once I joined on with the PS5, this is my, I think, second Gran Turismo game. So I'm somewhat novice in the whole Gran Turismo circuit, let alone, the league racing. So it's been enjoyable thus far.
Well, for your very first league and your second race of the season, and a very solid second place finish here today, I would be celebrating tonight if I were you, my guy. That is absolutely incredible. I'm absolutely thrilled for you. We always love seeing the racers find that podium for the first time. It's a bit of a special feeling. It's probably a moment you'll never forget for quite some time. And, I mean, really, it's just a matter of one more step for you to really taste that victory lane here. So keep at it. Put your head down. Keep doing what you're doing, because it's working. And a huge congratulations on a really solid P2 finish for you. And, of course, shout-outs and thank yous, my man.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'm excited to finish out the season here, and I'm gonna head downstairs and pop open a beer and celebrate.
And of course, I wouldn't expect anything less. So cheers, and a massive second place finish, man. Congratulations on your first podium ever in your ever first league racing situation. And I gotta tell you, this boy is going to be hungry now, moving forward into the new year here in 2023. So amateur division is heating up, folks. Boy, oh boy, we're in for an absolute fantastic final 4 races of the season with this division. We can't wait to see it. Great job tonight, my man. Appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are going to get to that gentleman who, I think we just seen Petey pop in. Let's go to Petey first. Let's go to Petey first before we talk to Ben. We're going to make Ben wait just a little bit longer. So again, to our third place driver, RWB Petey here. Welcome in, my man. I hope everything is well. What can we say, my dude? It was an absolute roller coaster race for you. You did not stop fighting, basically start to finish for this race lead and race win. And at the end of the day, just making a little mistake in the final corner there, and ended up coming out with a P3 finish. Still, talk me through your race, man. How you feeling?
Uh, Frustrated. No, it was a fun race. That's not one of my favorite tracks. I'm actually surprised that I finished that well. It was just one section of the track I was really fast, and the rest I was really having a hard time, especially once the tires started to wear down. But hey man, Blake was pushing out there. Congrats to him. Well, for the majority of the race, I was just trying to stay behind him and pace him. Just trying to find a clean line. I couldn't keep consistent laps like I wanted to. I just pushed when I could, and sometimes I just pushed too hard. I actually did like a 720 out there and saved it. I was kind of proud of that. But yeah, man, I was going out there. Keep doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely. And I mean, Brands Hatch made the majority of the drivers in the field pay the price for their little mistakes here today, and you were no exception to that, of course, making those small little mistakes that were costing you time and positions, but battling back really
Yeah,
well today,
definitely.
making some good calls, like you said you were, just sitting in, and you sitting in the slipstream, of course, trying to save your race car a little bit, but that last lap battle, I mean, talk to us about that. You have the pressure of course, the third place driver who's closed up on your rear wing, and you're back at a position right at the end of the race where you could maybe get that final spot for the race lead. You know the guy you're chasing in the championship standings is not having the greatest race this week. What's going through your mind at that point? And then, of course, unfortunately, your tires just didn't quite hold the corner for you, and still managing to squeak out that P3 finish. But what's going through your mind in the last few corners of this race here tonight?
Oh man, that corn dog machine was right on my butt, man. But I was trying to do one of the moves I think I did in who was it last week? Was Heathen? We had a good battle going on last week, and pretty much I was trying to do one of those brake early, accelerate early out the corner. It just didn't work out. Left front was gone. It cut a little bit of the sand, and just went for a little ride, made a couple sand castles, watched corn dog going by.
Absolutely, and I mean, what's the? I mean, I know of me as a racer, my first thing I would have done in that moment is be look up at the live timing screen. Is that much of what you did there to see where that fourth place driver was coming around?
Yeah, I was. I seen he was a little ways back. I think I pretty much knew we had pulled away because corn dog was giving me some nice bump drafts. Like they'll learn hard out there, but yeah, I just tried to make a last minute move, try to get a couple extra points in the standings, but it didn't work out like I wanted to.
Well, nonetheless, I mean, obviously you're the fastest man in qualifying. You're coming in with the pole position point, so that's a bonus point for you. Still a third place finish as well on the evening. I think that's what 18 or 17 points or something like that. He then, of course, finishing right near the back of the pack here today. Not his best race, so that gives you five positions and points on that driver moving forward into the standings. So going into the holiday break, I think we're going to see those standings really tighten up. You're going to be within one more, two-place finish above Heathen, and you guys are going to be like deadlocked in the standings. So, what's your thought process now over the holiday break? Obviously, besides spending time with your amazing family, but of course, as you start to prepare towards January 7th for round 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna just try to get as much sleep time as I can between now and the next race and get more familiar with this AMG.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for popping in, and of course, your time as always. We always love it when you guys come in and talk to the fans on the podium. So, thank yous, and shout outs, my man.
Oh man, I want to thank you too for the races I did. Another great race, man. At the end of it, it's something fun. I tell you that. Shout out to Blake here, Corn Dog, man. Top three, Rick James. Welcome to the league, man. Good race.
I
Absolutely, and again, do appreciate all the great racing we're seeing from you guys this week, because you guys always set the precedence for the week here at Flat Out, and again, just another absolutely action-packed filled race for the fans, and of course myself. So I do appreciate all the great clean racing we've seen on the racetrack again this week, and congratulations on another solid podium finish here, my man. And enjoy the moment. Have a great Christmas holiday season, and we'll see you in a little over a couple weeks' time.
All right, you have a good one too, everybody. Have a good one.
All right. Absolutely fantastic stuff from these guys, always in the interviews, ladies and gentlemen. Love talking to the drivers. It really is a lot of fun. Now he gets his time in the spotlight here. He may be a little excited. I don't know if we've had this opportunity before as broadcaster and racer, but we're going to talk to Ben Blaker here from the Ice Racing team. Huge congratulations, my man. Big race win here tonight in your second race of the season at Flat Out. How you feeling, brother?
Bloody wicked, dude. First league win. Yeah.
So, I'm sure, is this your first major race win in a championship series here?
Yeah, dude. That it is.
Absolutely. So that's even better. Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, two drivers tonight getting big finishes in their racing careers here. So, you know what? That's absolutely fantastic. So, let's get to it. You qualified fourth place. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and get a really good race start off the line. You moved yourself very early on into first place with that mistake by Rick James early on in the race. I'm not sure what happened to him there, but he definitely got into some trouble, and it gave you a free pass. And then you just kind of cruised for a little bit. You opened up a gap, and then these guys started to close in on you, and it was battle on. We've seen some pretty good defensive driving out of you as well throughout the early parts of the race, and then, of course, we've seen some pretty good defensive driving at the end of the race as well. And, of course, I'm sure that's a definitely a contributing factor here for this race win today, because you were under pressure. How do you handle all that pressure? I mean, you were under fire, it seemed like, for, a good solid, I would say, 25 out of 35 laps of that. Petey was there, he was in behind, but even just sitting there settled in behind you, that is still a car there. It's still something that's a distraction. It's something that you're paying attention to on the racetrack. It's something that obviously you need to be aware of. What's going through your mind all race long today? Because you were definitely one of the drivers under some of the most pressure we've seen all race long.
Just quickly though, it was actually fifth place qualified.
10-4.
So I had the inside line into turn one, which was good because I was able to make a couple of moves there. The pressure I actually just put the car into bonnet mode, so I didn't have the overhead rear view camera. I just had the radar down underneath, and I was just glancing into it as I was coming through, so I knew I could give a bit of space to Petey and Corndog and just give those guys a bit of respect going through some of the corners. Because I didn't want that constant look up and go, he's right there.
Absolutely, of course, every little bit of distraction that a driver can eliminate while on the racetrack definitely helps keep you locked in and focused in. No, I mean, we've seen a lot of drivers really struggle with Brands Hatch today. It was definitely fighting back to the race car drivers here today, and it seemed like you really did kind of make minimal mistakes today. I don't remember seeing you make anything too major there. So keeping the car safe and keeping it on the racetrack ultimately today really paying you some big dividends. But you showed great pace out there really all race long. Through the first stint you were very consistent, and then through the second stint it was a little hit and miss, obviously, as those soft tires start to wear down. And one-stop strategy. Now, were you thinking one-stop strategy all the way into the race here today?
I wanted to see what the soft tires would do. I had a contingency plan if I needed to do a two-stop. But obviously the soft tires held off. If the race was maybe another 5 laps, I would have considered it. But being that it was only 35 laps, I'd actually done all my testing under Pro-Am settings. So I was on the higher tyre wear and the higher fuel wear. So I knew then that I could one-stop it if I needed to.
Absolutely, and we were a little unsure what we were going to expect to see from strategies today. Obviously, with the 35 laps around Brands Hatch factor, that is plenty of laps to put on these tires, and this track is pretty tough on tires. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the first time we've heard one of our podium finishers talk about practicing on the bigger settings with the higher divisions to really kind of dial their cars in. And now we're seeing Mr. Ben Blaker doing much of the same thing here as well and taking the race win today. So maybe something to be considering moving into the future rounds here in the new year as well for the rest of our drivers that are tuning in now or later as well. So, I mean, Petey was just a staple on the back end of that pink car today. How do you handle something like that? Like, do you start to develop a respect and a trust with that driver at some point in the race, knowing that he's not going to force the issue on you, or are you always kind of thinking you want to be semi-defensive in that situation?
Well, I was always semi-defensive to begin with, but I've raced with Petey in other leagues, as you know, Ghost, and we've sort of developed this mutual trust that we're not going to wreck each other's race or anything. Like we know where we can push each other, and we know where we can go sort of side to side with each other.
Well, all I know is with all the new debut faces and the new drivers popping into this amateur division, in mixed with our already original seasoned drivers in the amateur division here, you guys have definitely turned this into a very healthy competition for top spot in the standings. Now, I know you guys are coming into the season late. You guys got a pretty big hill to climb, but if you guys continue to have these good results like this and keep knocking these guys that have been around for a few extra races down at the bottom of the field here, you guys have just as much a shot at getting yourselves on the top of the podium and a part of this prize pool that's up for grabs as well by our sponsors. So is that something you're thinking about right now, or are you going to wait to see how the next couple of races go and see where you sit into the point standings? Because we still have to factor in that there's 2 drop rounds that aren't, of course, accounted for in our standings here so far that we are seeing, of course, on the stream and in the Discord server. That won't be done until the end of the season. So a couple more race wins. Do you think maybe you got a shot at that?
Honestly, I'd be looking to just keep the consistency, knowing that, anything can happen. Anyone can have a bad race at any track. Fuji's probably not my best track, but we'll just see how it plays out and see what happens.
Absolutely, and I mean that's all we can do. The important thing is of course the holiday season coming, Christmas legitimately right around the corner here. We're within a week now. So the focus now goes to the families, ladies and gentlemen. Blaker's going to be not much different than every other person out there. We've got that loved one somewhere out there, or we'll hang out with our communities, or whatever the case may be, on during the holiday season. And we'll have some good racing, I'm sure, and some good times and some good giggles, maybe some laughs, maybe some cries. Who knows, chat? But hey, that's what a community is for. We're here to be there for each other no matter what the situation is. But I mean, moving forward again, a couple weeks off. So do you just kind of chill out, or do you kind of start thinking about what's going to happen in the new year already for flat out racing?
I'll take Christmas off. Between Christmas and New Year's, maybe cut a couple of laps just to get a feel for the car at the track and see what it's like to drive. But come New Year, it's hands on deck.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure that's probably a fairly mutual consensus across the field for most of the drivers as well. So, the drivers are going to enjoy some time off. These guys work hard. The crews work hard all season long to keep the cars running and keep them on the tracks for these guys. And, of course, to all the staff behind the scenes at the tracks here at the league organization offices and everything. I'm sure everybody's ready for a nice little solid break. So congratulations, man. I'm super happy to hear that this is your first win and you did it here live on stream. I'm sure the folks are going to be absolutely thrilled to see that back, of course, home and back at the team. But, your shout-outs and your thank yous, my man. So well deserved here today.
First, I want to thank the team for all the practice sessions we've done during the week. My sponsors, obviously, we've got Signs on Para on the car, which is a local shop signage company. But yeah, really just a massive team effort across the board. So I want to thank everyone.
Absolutely, and much love, and again, huge congratulations. Big start for the ice racing team here this weekend at Flat Out Racing North America. So we head into our elite division. You've got any drivers? I don't think you have drivers in the elite currently, but we are going to see more of the ice racing team here moving throughout the week as well, ladies and gentlemen, and see if they can continue the momentum here for the team as we progress. We're going to have some fun little stuff for you guys based off these teams as well throughout the broadcast moving forward as well, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned for something new visually here as well. But thrilled for you, my man. Proud that I was able to be here to broadcast your first league win, and hopefully we see another one at Fuji in round 7, mate.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
All right.
We'll catch you at Fuji.
Absolutely. Thank you again for taking the time to talk with us after the race as well, and enjoy your time off, my man.
Yeah, enjoy your time off, guys. Thanks for the race.
Cheers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is going to conclude amateur division for this Saturday evening. Stefan Nielsen coming in with that thumbs up. Yo, says Stefan, my man, how are you doing, my guy? Thank you for stopping in. Sorry, obviously I don't want to interrupt the interview, guys, with some shout outs, so appreciate everybody being patient on that. Whew, what a race, chat. I'm still a little hot under the collar from that race. It was absolutely intense and exciting. We've seen some pretty wild things happen on this racetrack today. We've seen some Mercedes doing some things that Mercedes race cars should not be doing on the racetrack, and we've seen some things that Mercedes race cars should be doing on the racetrack this evening. It was a mixed bag of events. It was a mixed bag of emotions for some of our drivers here today. Even some of the drivers that did well. It was a roller coaster ride to the finish, and just an absolutely amazing battle to the end again here from these guys. Week in and week out, these guys just never ever disappoint. They set the stage for the whole week of racing, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, they have done it again this week. This amateur division is no joke. They are ready to fight for the prizes, and I can't wait to see what the new year is going to bring. Everybody's going to have time to reflect, sit back, assess everything that's just happened over the last few weeks of racing, sit back, process all the information they've gotten from these cars, and I think we're going to see a whole different set of racing from our drivers come January 7th, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Just massive congratulations to all the drivers in the amateur division. Thank you for the great 2022 racing, and again, last time we're going to see the amateurs here in this year, ladies and gentlemen. We will have elites tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll have Pro Division on Monday, Pro-Am 1 on Tuesday, Pro-Am 2 on Wednesday to finish off our run towards the Christmas holidays. And then your boy Ghost will take a little bit of time off here as well moving into the new year, but not too much time off. We have a couple special things planned for you guys as well, and stay tuned for more information about that over the holiday season, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. To all the returning viewers, much love, our OGs. We love you guys coming in and absolutely showing and slamming that support to the drivers. To all our new viewers, thank you so much for coming in. All that amazing support. I absolutely love everybody being here. And, it's an important time of year, ladies and gentlemen. It is the holiday season. We are a week away from Christmas. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have celebrations. We have Christmas parties. We have lots of things that are happening here over the holiday season. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's be safe out there. Don't drink and drive. Please make sure you have a safe ride home. Make sure you have a safe place to stay. Make sure you have some way to ensure that you are not behind the wheel after having a couple of celebratory drinks. Let's make sure that every child, every brother and sister, every mother and father, every grandparent has that opportunity to take in the small moments we get together as family nowadays and cherish the time that we do have together with our family. It is the holiday seasons. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year on behalf, of course, Flat Out Racing AM Division and GT45 Gaming, our sponsors, GTR Simulators, Apex Racing Team, and of course, High Pre Graphics. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you matter, and stay winning. We'll be back tomorrow night for more racing action here from Flat Out Racing, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live, sharp, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait to see you there for another night of great racing action. Be safe, take care, and love thy neighbors this holiday season. Be safe out there, folks.